What is the smallest hill you are willing to die on? Tiny jumbo paper clips should not be mixed. This happens at work, despite having dedicated containers for each. Worse, they often dump old staples in the mix too. That four-way stops are not the place for pleasantries. Go when it's your turn, or it fucks up the rotation. Lightning McQueen totally won his race against Doc because Doc blatantly broke the rules as laid out by Sheriff. Edward Norton's character in Fight Club has no name. It is most definitely not Jack. Mount Gilead in Lynn, Massachusetts, 272 feet in elevation. Nice view of Boston. Okay to die on. Anything lower than that and or without a view can go fuck itself. You're not a small business owner if you're in the MLM. Reese's trees should be called treeses. Cheap cafeteria silverware at a nice restaurant ruins the experience. Red Delicious apples are trash apples. I'm gonna still recommend better apples. And judge you harshly when you stick with a Red Delicious. People need to either wear headphones, earbuds, or mute their devices in public, including children. That it's impossible to give more than 100. Had to really think about this. Threatening to beat up your daughter's boyfriends is not an effective parenting strategy. If your daughter is choosing questionable partners, find where you failed and fix it so she can choose healthy relationships in the future. Almonds are good except they are too squeaky, so I refuse to eat them. Women's clothing should have more pockets. The Oxford comma. Use it. Returning shopping carts to their spots at all costs. Cart narcs. Beauty pageants for children should be illegal. Those giant yellow or white arrows painted on the ground at gas stations. Yeah, they're there to maintain order. Stop coming in the wrong direction, cutting in front of people and being an asshole. Dishwashers are meant to be stacked a specific way. It creates a good balance between maximizing number of items that can be washed at one time and leaving enough space for cleaning to occur. Should be bloody obvious, but it is the most likely reason why my marriage may not last much longer. Correct usage of your and your. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Wreck-It Ralph did not need a sequel. The hill my belly makes when I lie back. Roundabouts are a good thing. If you don't like them, you don't understand how they work. Just because it's tradition it doesn't mean it's good and should be followed, and the inverse also, just because it's new doesn't mean it's bad and shouldn't be done. Repeatedly rebuilding New Orleans is a colossal waste of taxpayer funds and resources, and should have stopped a century ago. It's floods, folks. Take your party to higher ground. A Reuben has pastrami, corned beef and sauerkraut. Not turkey and coleslaw. Stop calling it a turkey Reuben. Just stop. Normal people call that a Rachel. In Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, there's a street called Marquis Drive. The locals here pronounce it Marquis. I understand this street was probably named from afar and the locals were given the name on paper and didn't know the proper pronunciation. However, it is now 2022. And almost everyone has TV and Google available. So at this point the fact that everyone continues to pronounce it Marquis instead of Marquis is a small hill, but I will absolutely die on it. School lunches should be free. No student should be punished, humiliated, or starved for their parents' choices, behavior, or financial status. Edit to add, I didn't follow the assignment. This is not a small hill, lol. Edit 2, I am fully aware that parents don't end up poor only because of behavior and bad choices. I myself was a free lunch poor AF kid. The biggest pushback I get are on those points, and that is why I typed them. My bad. As a term of endearment, it's hon, not hun. You're calling them honey, not a marauding horseman from ancient Asia. Medical professionals who share false info should have their licenses revoked. Signed, a hospice nurse. I should probably make an alt, but there is a proper way to load the dishwasher and my so doesn't follow it. It's chaotic evil in there sometimes. If you don't return your shopping cart to the cart corral, you're an asshole. You aren't required to have a relationship with someone just because you're related. Ear piercing is body modification, and it should never be done to a person until that person can give fully informed consent. It's I couldn't care less, not I could care less. Use the latter. I'm the annoying guy that interrupts to correct without fail. 8 to 4 is better than 9 to 5. People need to stop calling chicken tenders boneless wings. They aren't wings. They are breaded breast meat. It should not be called an air fryer. You aren't frying anything. It is a tabletop convection oven. Women's panties should not cost the same as a pair of men's jeans. We should normalize regular sanitization of our belts, because it's one of the first things we touch after finishing on the toilet. Also, we should regularly clean under our fingernails, especially after washing your hands. If you're disruptive in a movie theater, you should be banned and have to pay for everyone else's ticket. Or death penalty, haven't decided. The whole glass half full empty debate is bullshit. There is a clear answer. If you have an empty glass and pour in liquid until it's half filled, it's half full. If you have a full glass and remove liquid until it's half filled, it's half empty. It all depends on the initial condition. Anyone who says anything different is wrong. Edit to everyone asking what the answer is if you don't know the initial condition, thinking it's some kind of gotcha, then the answer is I don't know. Not knowing something is a perfectly fine situation to be in. Show me where the X is in the word espresso, or say it properly. Stop with the daylight savings time already. People are too loose with the word impossible. Being very difficult is not the same thing. And nobody has ever or will ever do an impossible thing. Laces out. Taco will never take it from. When our daughter was born, Barney the dinosaur. No way, no how. On this one issue, I got my way. Toilet paper goes over, not under. I don't care if you're the only car on your damn turn signal. Till that a hill is apparently not a small mountain. Reading these comments messed with my brain a bit. You shouldn't put ketchup on fries that people are sharing. Life's too short for no-name ketchup. You can taste the difference, so spend the extra buck. Pubis mons. It's GIF, not GIF. I know the curator of the word says it's GIF. God himself could descend and tell me it's GIF. It's GIF, fuck you. If English didn't want the infinitive to be split, then it should have kept a single word infinitive. Kyle Katarn stole the Death Star plans. Leave leaves alone. Oxford, cereal, it should always be used. Anyone who says otherwise is just flat out wrong. Airlines should force a gate check for oversized carry-ons and charge a lot for it rather than waiting until all the space is full and forcing whoever happens to be in the last boarding group to check their reasonably sized carry-ons. You can't save a parking space unless you have a car with you. If you are standing in a parking space waiting for your spouse to drive there from around the block, I will block in the spot, cancel my plans and wait there all day. These shows with all these actors playing teens, then having sex on screen, is predatory. Literally like acting out child porn. Never understood why action shows need these people portraying underage kids having sex. It should be illegal to sell $1,199 phone without a charger. Oxford, Oxford, and Oxford, because the initials stand for the brothers Gibb. The BG should actually be called the BSG. I will not eat macaroni and cheese without black pepper sprinkled on it. If you have both a mustache and chin beard, then it's called a Van Dyke. Texas Pete is great on anything. Indigo has no place on the rainbow color wheel. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. The secondary colors made from the primary colors are orange, green, and violet. Newton may have added indigo to the list because of his favor for the number 7, and because of the popularity of indigo in world trade at the time. I also stand with the Oxford, A $14 bottle of Jim Beam will get you just as drunk as $45 bottle of Blanton's. Cheesecake is actually a pie, not a cake. Billie Eilish owes most of her musical success to her brother. I will not use Hunt's ketchup, Heinz or nothing. Understand the difference between then and than. Similarly, paid is not the past tense of pay. Christmas music should not be played until after Thanksgiving. The metric system needs to be adopted universally. BCE and CE are still based around Jesus, so it's not more secular than using BC and AD. The British shouldn't get mad at the countries calling it soccer when they invented the word. Edit: for the record, I don't have any issue with the beautiful game being called football. I'm not saying teams should change their name to X Soccer Club. Literally does not mean figuratively, for fuck's sake. Also, Jerry Seinfeld isn't funny, and I hate how he gets a free pass for dating a 17-year-old when he was 38. Fight me. People that capitalize the first letter of every word in a sentence should never type again. If you leave unoccupied washroom doors closed, you are permanently disliked by me. Dog owners are the worst part about dogs. You should be using soap on your cast iron cookware. Soap isn't made with lye anymore, it won't strip the seasoning. Not using soap on something you cook with repeatedly is disgusting. Edit: it's technically called detergent when it has no lye in it. Use your goddamn turn signals. They're for everyone else on the road, it's not about what you can see. Keep your dog on a leash in public places. It makes zero sense how being bad at grammar is universally associated with being dumb, while being bad at math is always accepted without judgment. Being bad at grammar does not make someone stupid. It's pronounced coupon, not coupon.